Hello everyone and welcome to part 3 of the employee series, and in this video we are going to talk about what do I declare on my tax return to SARS. So before we get into the video, please remember to leave a like or subscribe if you're new to the channel. On this channel I teach people about the South African tax system and how to use SARS e-filing. So let's get into the video. So my general rule of thumb, and I think the general rule of thumb in taxes, or in income tax specifically, is if you receive it, you must declare it. An income, it could be a capital gain, it could be an inheritance, you must declare it. That's the basic rule of thumb. And the second one is if you claim it, you must be able to prove it. And what does that mean? If you are claiming rental expenses, you've got a rental property and you want to claim the interest, the bond interest, you need to prove the bond interest by having a bond statement which reflects all the interest. If you are claiming a travel allowance deduction, you need to have a logbook, for example. Without the logbook, SARS is going to disallow it. And basically the first rule is found in section 25, subsection 2 of the Tax Administration Act, and section 102 of the Tax Administration Act deals with the burden of proof, which basically supports the second point. If you can claim it, then you must be able to prove it. So with the new 2000, and SARS brought this in 2019, and prior I think already, RB5s were preloaded, but now for the 2020 tax year, SARS has actually also preloaded third-party data from employers for the RB5s, your local interest and REITs income that's found on your IT3B certificates. Also, medical aid contributions that you've made pulls through due to third-party data, retirement annuity contributions, and also your tax-free saving account information. But obviously, with all new things, there has been some issues that people have found errors. Either there's RB5s incorrect. Somebody commented recently to say that the employer made a mistake. There was a third RB5 uploaded, and now he has to go back to the employer and ask them to fix it. So always make sure that the interest that is reflecting, the information that is reflecting on your tax return before you file it, make sure that it's correct before you click the submit button. So obviously with the new auto assessment function from e-filing, just make sure that you edit the return so that you can check all the details that's on there and make sure that it's correct before you submit it to SARS. And this gets into my next point. Please don't just trust the auto assessment. I've noticed, especially on Twitter, a lot of people have said that suddenly there's tax that there shouldn't be, or it doesn't take into account your logbook. If you get a travel allowance, you need to claim that travel allowance deduction. And just remember that if you edit the return, or if you just submit it to SARS and you accept the auto assessment that SARS gives you, you can be held liable for any mistakes, omissions, or negligence in the submission of your tax return. That is super important. The fact that SARS auto-assessed you does not remove your responsibility to file the tax return correctly. And if you have other income that doesn't pull through from third party, you still need to submit that. And if you don't, if you deliberately omit the information, or you deliberately file it knowing that there's mistakes, or you commit gross negligence, the penalties can be severe, anything between 10 to 200% depending on the severity of the case. This is super important, guys. So don't just trust the auto assessment. Click the edit function, make sure that everything is correct, and then click the submit button. In terms of what must be declared on your tax return, you will notice that on your tax return, I'm just going to pop here to the next page. This is the questions, the standard questions that comes up. on your tax return that you need to tick yes or no for. So if any of these questions apply to you, you need to tick yes, and if they don't apply to you, you need to tick no. And the information in the asterisks, you'll notice the RP5, investment income, medical aid contributions, and retirement annuity contributions. All those information, like I said, that pulls forward from third-party data when you request it. So those information pulls forward automatically. However, what doesn't pull forward automatically that you need to complete yourself is if you receive any trust distributions, if you need to declare any rental income or expenses. Also, if you have, like I said, a travel allowance and you need to claim a travel deduction using your logbook, or you received a use of motor vehicle fringe benefit and you also need to claim against that, also again with the logbook. So those are all under standard questions. So very quickly, standard questions covers whether this declaration was done by a tax practitioner, whether you are unemployed, ceased to be a resident, all the previous ones I've mentioned, and also if you're a director or company, and also if you're a director or a member of a company or a closed corporation, you tick yes or no there. And if you tick, did you receive any other income, or you have any other allowances or expenses that wasn't addressed in the standard questions, if you tick yes there, it will take you to the comprehensive questions, which looks like this. And like you can see there, if you tick yes, it will open that section in the tax return for you. Okay. So under foreign income is usually if you've got foreign rental income, if you have a foreign business, also if you have foreign royalties. And don't forget, if you have those type of income, you may have paid tax on that income already in that country. And so you can claim that foreign tax credits in South Africa. Okay. If you also under the section, you need to submit if you had local or foreign capital gains. Capital gains usually is when you sell an asset like a property or shares. Then sole proprietor or partnership, income and expenses, that's also declared under the comprehensive questions. Farming operations as a sole proprietor. Then other income, but what's covered here is specifically SA royalties, so royalties that you get from South Africa, but also what's covered there is if you did maybe an administrative job that you don't get an RP5 for, or you did a consulting job and it is not enough to complete in the sole proprietor section, you can just complete it there under other income. Okay. Then you can also declare your non-taxable income. Section 1010 is foreign remuneration, when you either work on a ship that's offshore or you work in another country but you are still a resident in South Africa. Other non-taxable income is donations, if you receive donations, local dividends, which is not, this is where you would declare local dividends. Section 10(1)(h) is interest that non-residents in South Africa earn. So they earn interest in South Africa, but they are non-residents. Then also if you've received an inheritance or if you received a foreign pension as a South African resident, those are non-taxable income. Then under other deductions, very quickly, there are more, but the two main ones are depreciation. So if you have a laptop that depreciates over time, you can claim it there. A work laptop, for example, that you bought with your own money. And also home office expenses, which is going to be a big one for the 2021 tax year. So this is what the questionnaire looks like on the ITR 12. And obviously you tick yes if it applies to you. If it does not, you click no. And that is it on that. And just lastly, with regards to the deadlines, there are only 3 weeks basically left to submit your tax return if you're a non-provisional taxpayer. However, if you're a provisional taxpayer, your tax return is only due 29 January 2021. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful. So just remember, if there's any doubt in your mind, If you receive it, your income, you must declare it. And if you claim expenses against it, you must be able to prove it. That's all from me. All right. So if you've liked this video or you want to subscribe, please do that. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.